Well, Cam, if I'm to write your player profile in a matchday programme, what position do I put you down as at the moment?
I'm not sure. Centre back at the moment, but yeah, it's good to play multiple positions. I feel like it's good experience for me, learning how to play there. It was good the other night. I had Kingy and JMO in front of me, good experienced players talking to me constantly. So yeah, centre back at the moment, but it's good that I can play either or.
Well, you've got a clean sheet, and we should add it's not the first time you've played that position for Bristol City. What's the biggest challenge playing centre back compared to, say, playing left back or left wing back?
I think it's definitely more a physical battle, dealing with aerial threats. The goal kicks, you've got to win the first one rather than sort of tuck round and get the second ball. So yeah, it's difference in terms of winning aerial threats and stuff like that, the physicality of it. Left back, obviously, I bomb forward a lot more, so it's more being tidy on the ball and giving it to people that can actually make a difference.
Do you have to be more vocal as a centre back?
Yeah, definitely. You've got to talk constantly. Me and Zach done a very good job the other day of talking to each other and covering around when we needed each other. And like I said, we had JMO and Kingy there in front of us, constantly talking to me throughout the game, helping me out.
And does it make you appreciate a clean sheet more when you play at centre back?
I think it's the same. I think it's the same playing left back. Obviously, left back when you sort of contribute to the goals as well. But yeah, it's sort of the same. Any position on the team defensively will be proud of a clean sheet.
How would you assess your season so far? I think it wasn't until Swansea late October you started your first game of the season, and now you're a regular in Bristol City's first team. What's changed over the last few months, do you think?
I think it's just having confidence in myself, going out there and believing that I can sort of play wherever I get put, really, and just being myself out there. And the difference between this year and last season, for example, I feel like I'm a lot more fitter. I can last 90 minutes now and give it my all out there.
Captain hindsight here, did you go on too many loans, do you think, as a younger player, or did that help you develop as a player?
It definitely helped me develop. Definitely helped me develop into the person that I am today. And obviously it got me used to the physical side of the game. Every year was sort of a step up, and that brings new challenges and stuff. So it definitely helped me as a player.
And every player wants to be playing. So now you are playing first team football. Do you appreciate it more having been out of the first team picture earlier in the season?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that it's spurred me on a little bit more. Obviously, not playing at the start of the season, you want to break into the team and prove to people that you can actually stay there. And that's probably what the gaffer wanted. He wanted me to prove to him sort of that I could come into the team and stay there and be consistent in terms of keeping clean sheets and performing as defensively as a defensive player. So yeah.
And as an aside, Gary Hours, who does commentary, thinks you're one of the fastest players in the Championship, and maybe it's one of your underrated strengths. Just how quick are you, and how important is that to your game?
It's definitely important to my game. The sort of recovery runs that I can make, it sometimes looks quite easy, but it's really not. Yeah, I'm quite quick, but surprisingly, I'm not the quickest in the team. Thomas Callas has got that trophy. I think he got 10.1 meters per second or something.
Wow.
Whereas me, I'm 9.6. So yeah, he's definitely, he can shift. Put it that way.
Well, maybe that's something for you to aim at in the future. City haven't scored as many goals as they drew 3-3 at Blackpool earlier in the season. Is that just one of those things? Do City just keep persevering?
I think so. I think if you look back at the last two games, we're a little bit frustrated. We feel like we created chances, but we haven't put them away. And yeah, like you said, at the start of the season, we were scoring quite a few goals. So I think it will come again. And we just got to be patient. And we are all frustrated that we're not scoring, but yeah, it will come.
Do you look forward to a game against a Blackpool side who are down towards the bottom of the table, not winning a lot of games, or is there a little negative part of you going, this is everything to lose and nothing to gain really?
I think it's a big game on the weekend. I think we've got to go into it thinking that we should be getting the 3 points. we're obviously, like I said, frustrated over the last two results in the league, where we feel like we should be getting more from them. But I think that shows how far we've come as a team, where we look at these games and we think that we should be getting something from them and we should be putting teams to bed. So yeah, hopefully it all clicks tomorrow in terms of going forward and sort of the final pass into the box and when we can score a few goals.
And the future as well, in terms of, it's great that even we're mentioning the playoff word, it shows the progress you're making, and even if not this season, can we be excited about the future for Bristol City?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we're all speaking about the playoffs now, and I think that shows exactly how far we've come. You wouldn't have thought this. Obviously, we went in on a bad run before the international break for the World Cup, and then obviously since then we've lost two games in the league. So one game in the league, and then obviously drew the last one. So I feel like we've definitely come a long way, and yeah, we just got to look forward and push on now.
Because that's interesting. You say we speak about it. Obviously, City fans in a pub will talk about football and what might happen. Are you guys the same in the canteen? You're not all robots, are you? I guess you're a bit like the fans debating what's possible in life.
Yeah, well, we're definitely more excited. Put it that way. Now that we're getting some decent results, we're looking up, and like I said, we want to push on and keep a positive mentality and just go take every game as it comes really, and perform every game as it comes.
And a big push. The international break's around the corner, but 3 tough games first of all.
Yeah, it's another big week for us next week, and that starts with the game Saturday. And yeah, we got to get a massive 3 points on Saturday, and then look up from there. Thank you.
The fitness side of it that you talked about, that you feel you've improved. Was that a conscious thing? Have you what changes have you made?
I think so. I think it's just working a little bit harder on the training pitch as well. Obviously, it was like I said, it was a few loans, working up the leagues, and it is a massive difference, the fitness side of it. So yeah, it was just getting used to that. You can see it with a few players that it's been the same when they step up. It's hard to get used to. It's not just the fitness side; it's the mental side of it. You've got to be constantly switched on in this league, and that drains you as much as the physical work as well. So yeah, it's just getting used to it.
Because you're playing a lot of 90-minute games now, whereas perhaps you were sort of not quite getting substituted two-thirds of the way through. So yeah. That obviously shows how much that's improved, and that's something you've obviously noticed.
Yeah, I've noticed it massively, and I think everyone around the sort of staff has as well. They spoke to me at the back end of last year about it, saying that I need to become more robust and fitter. And I think that's definitely something we've worked on, and it's paid off.
So have you done anything in outside of
not in particular? It's just like I said, it's just getting used to the step up and obviously the demands that the championship brings.
You talk about Kingy and Matty James talking to you. Just to ask a slightly stupid question, but what sort of stuff are they talking to you about?
Just when to relax on the ball really and stuff like that. I thought Tuesday's game I was a little bit shaky at times on the ball. And it's nice to have them in front of you just to calm you down and say, look, relax on it and just play it sideways. If nothing's on, you can sort of go out the other way. So yeah, it was nice of them to just sit in front of me and talk me through the game.
Because moving into centre back, is it therefore slightly easier is maybe the wrong word, but more comfortable out of possession than it is in possession? Because all of a sudden the pitch looks very different to you, doesn't it? Whereas where you've been for the last 6 months or whatever.
I mean, it all really depends on the opposition and who you're playing, different formations and stuff like that. But what I can say about Tuesday, the first time I played there in a back four, in a two, playing against like a one striker who's not really pressing, it was quite easy, but sometimes a bit laboured because you feel like you've got more time on the ball than what you have. So yeah, it's just getting used to it, and I'm sure I'll get better with each game.
Because you played, like you mentioned there, you played a few games in a 3 last season. What are the differences with the 3 and a 2?
I think as a 3, I'm obviously playing on the outside on the left, so when I get the ball, I can drive in more with the security of the 2 behind me because they'll tuck round. So it's as a 2, you don't really want to go running into the middle of the park with the ball just in case you lose it. But again, you've got JMO and Kingy there that can also tuck in if possible.
And you and Zach, I mean, obviously you both come through the club similar-ish times. I appreciate you at the times away. I mean, are you particularly close? Have you got a good relationship as well?
Yeah, we got a really good relationship, me and Zach. Do a lot of things off the pitch. We as good as a relationship as it can be, really. And he talks to me a lot on the pitch as well. Obviously, there's a new sort of relationship there with the two of us playing centre back. So it's me getting used to that sort of game, and he helps me through that.
With the playoff chat, if you like, what do you think you need to do as a team to get that extra, however many percent it is, to go from, say, mid-table to top 8 to top 6? What's needed, do you think, to get there?
I think it's just finding consistency with our play. Some games we find ourselves moving the ball really well. I mean, out of possession, I think we're sort of the same team whatever game we go into. We press well, we get after teams, but yeah, moving the ball definitely needs to be quicker some games, and it's just finding that consistency of being able to break down teams.
Is there a reason for that? Nigel mentioned after the Cardiff game that he didn't feel you moved the ball as quick as you could. Like what do you think is the reason for that? Which is probably like the answer to everything. Do you know what I mean? Like there is no answer, but what do you think? Sometimes
you sort of get dragged into the opposition's game, so they make it scruffy, and we sort of get dragged into that type of game. As it is quite hard to get out of it sometimes when the opposition's playing long balls and then getting the second balls and then pressing you straight off the second ball. You feel like you've got no options sometimes, so you've got to sort of put it down the channel or something. So yeah, it's just getting dragged into the opposition games. We need to get a foothold of games sometimes.
The sort of the question of the identity of this team. You've obviously been, and you kind of your style of play taps into this as well as a counter-attacking side, very athletic counter-attacking side. But in recent games, there's been a lot more focus on having the ball, having to dictate things on the ball, and you probably haven't been quite as effective attacking wise. Is that something as players you're conscious of that you need to get better, and therefore do you work on that, or is that just something within a game that will improve?
I think it's a bit of both. I think obviously we need to work on breaking teams down that sit in a deep sort of block. But like you said, you only really learn when you're against teams that do it. So I feel like we need to be more patient at times, move the ball instead of forcing it. But like you said, it will come with games.
Thanks, Cam.
Thank you.
Hi, Cam. Nigel has spoken before on how impressive your athleticism is, and how when you play left back, I know you're probably going to be playing centre back for a while, sometimes he wants you to take players on the outside more. Has he kind of spoken to you about doing that?
Yeah, definitely. That was a big thing when I first come back into the team. He just wanted me to get the ball and sort of run with it. Sometimes after sprinting 3 or 4 times in a row, it is quite difficult to obviously do. So you need to take a break on the ball and obviously keep the ball a little bit. But it's definitely something he spoke about and something I've tried to do a lot more.
Yeah, and since Anis has come in January, you've kind of made a real good partnership up with him. It's obviously now, like I say, you've moved to centre back, but how have you found playing with him, and how impressed have you been with the way he settled in?
It's nice having him in front of me because he's very good on the ball and he sort of attacks the player. So I just sort of back him up really. Sometimes I feel like I don't really need to get round him because I know that he can beat a man and sort of put a ball in. You've seen with the first 2 games he played, he created the 2 penalties really, and that was all from just him taking on the man without even me getting around him. So sometimes you just leave him alone and let him do his thing, and it's paid off the last Sunderland game and the I can't remember who it was at home, but
yeah. And as was mentioned earlier, the goals have dried up a bit up front. How vital is it that when the strikers aren't in the best of form, you really do keep it as tight as possible at the back?
Yeah, that's one thing the gaffers referred to is when we don't win games, we've got to find a way not to lose them, and that is keeping clean sheets. And I feel like we've become a more solid group whilst defending. We don't look as shaky at times like in the last 20 minutes as we did sort of last season. So I think we've come a long way in terms of that.
Yeah, and obviously even though you're centre back at the minute, we've seen Rob at centre back travel forward the ball loads of times in the past. given the side's recent struggles really up front, is that something you might have to hold back?
A little bit. You just got to pick your moments when I can do that. Like you say, when Rob done it, he's probably done it very well. And you got to pick your moments in a game where you can sort of get forward and sort of help out. But then that's up to the sort of centre mids to drop in and help Zach out at the back.
Yeah, and Nigel mentioned a few of the youngsters under 21s have been training with the first team. Just wondered who you've been impressed with out of that group.
I've been impressed by quite a lot of them, to be fair. Marley, Francois, he's a very good player. I'm sure he'll go a long way. Then obviously Omar's been with us quite a while now. He's really good on the ball. Yeah, every player that steps up from the 21s, you know they're going to be a good player. And I'd love to be in the same position as what they were when I was their age. Obviously, I was on loan a lot, and training with the first team every day is a very good experience, and you sort of learn the game a lot quicker. So yeah, looking back, I wish I was where they were at their age.
Yeah, and Marley, like you say, just got a call up to the Australian team. What's the best thing about his game that you've seen?
He's just really good on the ball. He's the same sort of player as Anis. Likes to take players on, gets the ball to his feet, and he's just got such quick feet that he can go either way. You don't really know which way he's going. He can be a problem.